Okay, so here we have like pushing directly to the test environment, and which please do not do it. First, some context. The OP is a junior engineer who has been given the reins, and he's the process of moving the pipelines to AWS called pipeline for internal reasons. Now, the request was brought up by our development team that would like the ability to push directly to test. Our workflow is the following. Currently, they're pushing to master. Once a merge is dictated to master, a build is then kicked off in the code pipeline and builds the application and adds the application code to the Docker image, which is then pushed to ECR and ECS, and ECS dev services is then running, assuming it's all good. There are no other tests oh my god. Pipelines in the moment, you don't deploy an image test pro there are happy with what they initially push. I would mainly promote the image to the testing pro by removing the Docker image in the new environment. This workflow essentially forces all stages, dev, test stage, and pro to be exactly the same, and it prevents any drift. Upon having the conversation essentially, I was flat out told there's no need for dev from their standpoint as a test is closely resembles production. Essentially, they would push directly to test if they could. Dev, not as much as they could, was the feeling I got. And this guy has some questions. Are you guys allowing your development teams to push directly to test? If so, how are you doing so without having any drift in your environments? It is something we should be allowed. Open to any suggestions on how to allow that, assuming we are in favor of this, and the question about open book web as well. Okay, it happens. It we have always got this kind of question, not only this guy, but I'm pretty sure everyone who has a couple of years in this experience in this field now the pressure from above, from the business, from our managers to other tech leads, from especially from the dev team, who does not understand yet the infrastructure point of view and what is the best processes. But what I suggest with from my experience so far and what I've heard and learned and from my mistakes is that you should create like a process for the dev team. So create the branches, make it cooler, make the pipelines way faster, approach them better, communicate more, and teach them about the infrastructure. Because I believe you might be in a company who is always one must deliver, since they are going to always go to test and production, and they do not have the time to go to the development, to the devs environment, to the UAT and production. So I think you are lucky to be in this kind of company because you have a lot of to learn from your mistakes, from the mistakes, and you have more power on how to create your own processes and the infrastructure, which is really really great. For your experience, it is one of the best ones. What I suggest, as I said, make it the approach a bit better, make it the pipelines a bit faster, maybe add some cool emojis to your GitHub Actions or the Markdown on the repositories. So the dev team should be always must push every time they want to commit, even to a pull request or to one of the branches. And the second thing you need to do is to create a path, or you need to create some diagrams for your company to let them know what needs to be done. So the first one, you should make a development to go directly to the dev environment. So you're gonna let them know that they're gonna have uh, inv- only two environments that they need to do, only two environments and nothing else. They need to have development and UAT, a test in this case. So in development, tell them this is your playground. This is how you can work. This is where you can destroy your stuff. This is where you can push your stuff. This is where you can test your stuff. And while in the master branch, you should make two checks. The, you should make a trigger on your build condition, condition build. You should make it depends on the master branch, and go first to a UAT. After UAT is successful, then go to the production environment. But in this process, you don't want any of the developers to actually touch production directly. So everything must go through the UAT, and in the UAT, there's most of it's not going to be only developers testing, are also the clients, other people who needs to go to the UAT and check that. But as you can also ask me a question, do you want the client to check the stuff that you are destroying, or you want to test your stuff, your application on the way go, while someone is making a demo and watching into it, someone is a potential customer. This is like a really great example how you can teach them and learn them, and how you can follow this methodology. And the third one, which is more important, I think you kind of have the power to, and kind of don't, because you are a junior. It's to teach. This is like the most important thing about the DevOps methodology, because no one is a true DevOps. We mainly are from development or from the operations point of view, until we have some experience that collide with each other, and we know the best of both worlds. Okay, kind of know words too, but the methodology to learn and to teach them this kind of processes is way more important on these methodologies. But in a technical point of view, I would just say make conditions to go to the master branch, to go first to, sorry, to the main branch, to go first. I think it's master, right? Yeah, to the master branch first, to go to the UAT, and then go to production. After everything is done successfully, you must do the quality gates. As you are junior engineer, I suggest you do right away quality gates for your development team, for your infrastructure, for your company. Quality gates are really important, where you can see your problems, what are you facing. You can have an overview or an analysis about what you are deploying to production. So without quality gates, you are just throwing trash online. You are not a DevOps, you are just a worker that can do everything. So you need some quality gates, and you need to teach others the DevOps methodology a little bit. And yeah, that's what I suggest. And there is also one comment. Yeah, he gave him like a trunk, how trunk branching works. But I doubt they'll listen if they're not interested in changing their workflow. You are not going to achieve much by asking them to. Work with them to reach the endpoint they're looking for as best you can. Sharp, precise, and clear. Yeah, I mean, kinda true. You need to work with them. You need to teach them. This is the best processes. Because as a developer, if I were the developer head right now, I would say, nah. Who is that DevOps guy? No one knows him. Why should we care for about the DevOps guy? But you need to teach them and kind of put like a strict rule. Let's say I need this to go first to UAT and then to production. So UAT is production for you. That's what you need to teach them. For development team, they have only two environments. They have only development and the UAT, or test, whatever. It depends, whatever business case scenarios or you want to set up. So teach them that they have only two environments, development and test. While for production is you. You are taking care of it. So it's yours, the production. And so you are the owner of it, and You need to collaborate with developers, but do not do anything manually, because I think I read that you are doing it manually. Don't do it manually. It's just one click, man. Just work on the YAML, add the approvers distribution ID, and one click, it's finished. And yeah, that's pretty much for this. So let's go to the next one, next video.